Hello writers, this is Mr. Ahrens, and today I am making this video to show you how you can fill out your outline for your movie review that you have been researching and brainstorming for. And the good thing about making an outline, I'll teach you, is that if you spend some time organizing your ideas, getting them out into a list of what you want to say in your review, then your draft, which comes next, really just writes itself. So today I'm going to show you how I take my notes that I did last week, and you should have completed as well, and I turn that into my outline so that when I start to draft, like I said, it pretty much just writes itself. Now, one thing I want to teach you and actually review for you from the last time we did an outline together is that the outline is not meant to be the first draft of your writing. It is not needed. You don't need to use complete sentences. You don't need to write it in paragraph form. You really just want to make notes and organize those notes so that when you sit down to write, you have all your ideas in one place and you can kind of just let the writing flow. Okay? So I want you to watch me as, again, I take my notes and I turn it into my outline. All right? So I am going to write my review about Toy Story 4, which I saw this summer with my kids, and I thought it was a really great movie. And so I'm going to be reviewing that. So I have my notes and I have my outline here. And like I said, I'm just going to make some notes and try and organize them so that I can start to write my draft. Okay? So I guess let me start here with the title. All right. And so the first part of my review says a catchy hook. All right. And so I really liked Toy Story 4. I've loved all the Toy Story movies, but I really liked Toy Story 4. I liked it because of the feelings that I got from it. I've always felt very close to the characters in Toy Story, so I really liked that. So I think I'm gonna try and grab my audience like this. So I said, if you want to feel like a kid again, see Toy Story 4. Now that is a complete sentence there, but that's something that I had in my mind that I wanted to use as my first sentence, so I wanted to write that down here. I think also in my introduction, I'll say, see all I'll say something about see all your favorite characters again, Woody, Buzz, Bo Peep, all of them. But I'm not going to write all of that right now. I'll know that when I start to write, I'll say something about seeing all of your favorite characters again. And then I'm also going to mention something about this information here that I found about when it came out and who the author was. Okay, so here I've just made a few notes to myself of the things that I want to include in my introduction. I'll say Pixar's Toy Story. I'll mention that it was made in 2019, and I'm going to finish my introduction with this line that says it is a must-see. That way, whoever reads my review will know exactly how I feel right from the very beginning. Okay? So now, the next part of my outline says the storyline. And there's some guiding questions here for you. It says, what is the story about? How predictable or unpredictable was the plot? And what were your favorite scenes and why? Now, those are guiding questions. I don't have to use all of them, but if you're stuck, those might be a good place for you to go. I've written already in my notes a little bit of a storyline already, so I'm pretty much just going to use what I have in my notes, which talks about this new character, Forky, that comes into the movie, and how Forky feels, and that eventually Forky makes all the characters go on this road trip. So I'll say, Forky. Silly character. Now, I have taken a full movie and I have made 4 little notes about it. I said that it introduces a new character, Forky. Forky does not believe he is a toy. All the characters go on a road trip, and that there is a surprise at the end. Sometimes when people write reviews, they get carried away with summarizing the plot. And the review is not really meant to tell the story of what happened. It's to tell what you feel about the story, or what your thoughts were about the story. It's necessary to give us a short summary, but this should not be the biggest part of your review. So I'm going to limit myself to those 4. Maybe you have 5 sentences to say about the storyline. I just wanted to hit the big parts. Okay, the next says themes or big pictures of the movie. And I think all of the Toy Story movies, including number 4, have had really good messages at the end. That was something that I found really positive about the movie, that it had a great message at the end. And when I thought about what that message was, I decided that it was to cherish your friends, to make sure you take care of your friends and always have their back. So I'm going to put that into my outline over here, and I'll say, so cherish your friends, look out for them, and always have their back. Now, when I write this, I'm going to include some more details about stuff that happened in the movie as examples, but I want to make sure that this is the message that I get across in the themes or the big picture. Okay, I'm moving right along with my outline. Now, the next part is about the key characters and their roles within the film. Now, this was one of the positive things that I found in the movie, that it found a way to incorporate all of the old characters. There was Buzz Lightyear, there was Bo Peep, there was everybody. So I'll say it has all the old characters. Buzz, Woody, etc. All the characters that you guys know. But there were also some new characters. Like I said, there was Forky. There was the new little girl whose name was Bonnie. Um, and then there were also some new, I'll say some new characters. I don't want to mention every new character because not every one of them is important, but I'll just say that there were some new characters. Um, okay, that's pretty good. Now it comes to the part of what I liked and proof. And I have that right up here in my positive section of my notes. I said that it was really funny. I really liked all of the jokes, even though some were really corny. I thought it was great. It's really clever and has a really good message at the end. So what did I like? First thing I gotta mention was how funny it was. It's like great jokes. What else did I say? I said that it was really clever. I thought that the story was really interesting. So maybe I could even say that. And then finally, the best part, the part that had me thinking about the movie later, was the message at the end, which was really cool. Okay. Now, even though I really did like this movie a lot, there were some things that I did not like, or some parts that I just thought were a little bit too silly. So here in my notes, when I was doing my research, I thought of some things that could have been improved, and I said that this new character, Forky, I really didn't like him at first. I found him kind of annoying. So I'll say, oops. There was one thing that Forky kept saying over and over and over again that I thought was like maybe just a little bit too much. So I'll say he was too silly. That'll be something I could write. Also, one thing that I remember when I from the first Toy Story was that it was really known for its music. But thinking about it, I can't really remember a single song from Toy Story 4. So I'll say there was not. Oh, I was going to say much, but there wasn't any. There was not any memorable music. Which is too bad. Because you remember that "You Got a Friend in Me." I remember that song by heart, and now I can't remember any song from Toy Story 4. Okay. All right. So the next part of this outline talks about the filmmaking techniques, and this is a Pixar film. So it is animated. And there were parts of the animation that really stood out to me. The toys are so lifelike. I'll put that on a new line. I just think that the way that they animate these movies now is so impressive that the toys can actually look real, and you forget that you're not watching real toys. So I thought that that was really cool. I also saw this movie in Dolby Sound, which made it really neat because there are some like action parts of the movie which are loud, and it was cool to be in a movie theater with such good speakers and that the film was made with such good sound. Okay, I'm doing great. And I want you to notice here that I'm not trying to write my review like the way that it's going to look in my draft. I'm just trying to get my notes down. But the difference here is that I'm organizing them and I'm putting them into what will become my paragraphs. Okay, so the most important part of the review is that your opinion is very clear. In my notes section, I can find what I thought about the movie down here where it says, what other personal reactions did you have to the movie? And I'm going to think about that as I try to write my opinions notes here. I'll say, first of all, I loved the movie. I loved it. I left the theater really pleased and happy and just feeling good because the movie was so good. Ooh, maybe I'll say something like that. Something else that I was a personal reaction was this was the first movie that I took my kids to see. This is the first time that they had been to the theater, and that was a really fun family experience. So I'll say that. It's anytime I can make a personal connection like that and talk about my feelings, that's really good to do. So I'll say that it is a great family experience. And again, the message was so strong for me. I'll say, the message leaves you thinking. It's not like you just leave the movie and that's it, you're done, you forget about it. The message really makes you think. Okay. I hope you can tell that as I'm writing my notes, I have a lot more to say. I'm going to keep that information in my mind and just keep these notes here as kind of like cues for those memories, so that when I'm writing my draft, then I can bring up those memories and I can write about them where it's more appropriate. Here, again, I'm just getting short little sentences or short notes about my thinking. Okay, the last part, another important part of the review, is the recommendation. So here, the outline prompts you to give an overall rating of the star listing for the film. That's like how I give it 3 out of 4 stars or something like that, and list whether or not you would view it again by giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's just typical lingo that you see with a movie review. So I will say this gets 4 out of 4 stars. And that's pretty good, so I'll put an exclamation point there. I'll say my family and I will definitely be watching this again. I'll say 2 thumbs way up. Now, if anybody reads this review, they're going to know exactly how I feel about Toy Story. I have told them that it gets 4 out of 4 stars, that my family and I would definitely be seeing it again, and that it gets 2 thumbs way up. Okay? So, writers, you're going to do exactly what you just watched me do, which is to make your outline. You should use the one that is in your packet, and you don't have to fill it out exactly like I did. You don't have to like try and mimic the way that I wrote my sentences, but you should try and just get down your notes and to organize them in these different sections. Once you have this complete, you'll be ready to start your draft, and we will begin that next. Thank you very much, and happy reviewing.